Hello, hello. Hey, book babes. Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm excited because I finished my first book of 2025. It is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. This review does not contain any spoilers about this book. It is just my general thoughts. If you have read this book and you are looking for some spoilers, or you haven't read this book but you like to spoil things for yourself, please tune in tomorrow on my channel because I will be posting a complete spoiler review of this book of Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. So a quick synopsis of this book is that we meet Grady, who is married to Abby. Grady is on the phone with his wife as she's driving home from work one night. She slams on the brakes because she sees a woman in the road and she wants to go help her. She gets out of the car and then Grady never hears from her again. He later finds her car abandoned on the side of the road. Her purse is in there, her keys are in there, her phone is in there, but she's nowhere to be found. A year goes by and Grady is still grieving his missing wife. She has not been found. He doesn't know what happened to her. Well, he's a best-selling author and he's been unable to write, so his agent offers him to stay in his remote cabin off of the coast of Scotland so he can get some peace and quiet and finally write. While he's there, some eerie things happen and he sees someone who looks an awful lot like his wife. Some good to know things about this book. The mood is a bit suspenseful, a bit eerie, a bit chilling at times. There's definitely some mystery and intrigue that will keep you guessing, that will keep you trying to figure out what's happening in this book. It is very fast-paced. It is only 300 pages, so it's very short book. Pretty easy to read. Time moves very fast. The chapters are pretty short. There is a bit of a dual POV, mostly Grady, but you do see some flashback. In addition to the flashbacks, you also get a couple of chapters that contain some news articles. I originally rated this book 3.75 when I first finished it, and then the more I thought about the book and while I was writing up my review, I reduced it lower and lower. I went from a 3.75 all the way down to a 2.75. I would not recommend this book to anyone unless you love Alice Feeney. I have never read another Alice Feeney book, so I don't know how her other books are. I know she's written Rock, Paper, Scissors. This book is just, it fell flat for me. I was intrigued. I read this book in, I think, just a couple of days because I was very intrigued and I was very excited to see what happened, and the writing was keeping me going, but the ending for me was very lackluster. It was one of those endings that just was wrapped up in a neat little bow. There was an explanation for everything. I didn't find a purpose for a lot of the things in the book. It just wasn't that entertaining for me. I also didn't care for the characters that much. There was just like a lot about the book that I felt like could have been rewritten. I loved the premise. I loved the setting of the book. I loved hearing the descriptions about the Scottish island, about the town on this island. I felt like the characters, the side characters, were interesting types of characters. I didn't find them interesting themselves, but I thought that the idea behind them was interesting. I also really enjoyed the fast pace of this novel. I didn't feel like it was too long. I actually felt like it was the perfect length. So I rated it a 2.75. It just wasn't that great for me. I still will read Alice Feeney's, some of her other books. I will read Rock, Paper, Scissors because I know that's her other most popular book. I try to read at least 3 books from every author, especially from different time periods of their life. Maybe their writing style has changed. Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I'll like her writing style a little bit more from a few years ago as opposed to now. Maybe she's just changed a lot. So I will be reading some more Alice Feeney books. I'm not sure I will this year. Maybe I'll pick up Rock, Paper, Scissors later this year. But for the most part, I am a little turned off by Alice Feeney at this point. Some other ratings just for your good to know. I gave this a 1 out of 5 on the tier scale. This would be 1, dry eyes. There are definitely some trigger and content warnings that are mentioned throughout the book, but I didn't feel that they were descriptive enough for me to choke up or get emotional over. I also want to mention a spice rating. I would give this a 1.5 out of 5 on the chili pepper scale. This would be a bell pepper, really not spicy at all. I only gave it a 0.5 because there's like one scene that has a little bit more description. I was surprised by the description. I wouldn't say it was like particularly spicy, but I was like, oh, okay, like this isn't just like, oh, we made out. It was slightly more than that. So I gave it a 1.5. Some of the content warnings that I want to mention for this book are sexual assault, child abuse, domestic abuse, mention of suicide, mention of death and murder, addiction to alcohol, and overall violence. So that is my quick, fast and easy review of Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. This book does come out January 14th, so if you are not turned off by my review or you just love Alice Feeney, go ahead and pick it up. It was a quick, easy thriller. It's nothing that you you wouldn't be really wasting your time much over unless you hate the ending. Then you might be like, okay, this was a waste of my time, but you won't be wasting much time because it's a short book. So go ahead and pick it up on January 14th if you're interested. If you did make it to the end of this review, I would be really interested to know. Please leave a book emoji in the comment section just so I know who made it to the very end. I'd also be interested to hear about anyone else's thoughts about Alice Feeney's writing or her books or the characters that she creates. I do want to give her books another chance. This one just for me was a bit of a flop. But that's the end of my review. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I will be posting a spoiler review tomorrow as well.